Okay, 111 and 555. Welcome in. Happy Tuesday, beautiful people. I pray your day is prosperous. Your weekend was fantabulous. My weekend was great. Yesterday I was live. I was just live a little bit earlier. So if you guys missed me in the evening, my apologies. I'm going to go ahead and apologize again because this live is going to be short. It's going to be about 50 minutes. I have a class that I'm attending at 8 Eastern, so it's not going to be as long as it normally is, but I'm going to give you as much as I can in the time frame that we have. If you are new here, my name is M. Simone. I do these lives Monday through Thursday around 6:45 Eastern Standard Time. Typically, I am on live for about an hour and a half. Today is going to be a little bit shorter. Yes, 30,000 111s. I love it here. So, I have two TikToks. I have the Great School of Life 111. This is the business TikTok. And then I have the msbinfluence, which is my personal TikTok. So I do have both of my TikToks. So if somebody asked a question that you didn't ask, it's probably because they asked it on the other TikTok. I'm not just pulling shit out of my ass. People are asking questions on different systems. The intention of this live is for you guys to start thinking from the end, for you to start thinking from the version of you that already has the life that you want to live. Every single one of you guys has a desire for more in some way, shape, or form. And the desire is an indication that there is a reality where that life is true for you. Your job is to become the version of you that would naturally live that life. The life you're living currently is very natural to who you believe you are currently. So if you expect to get to the new life, you have to become the version of you that would naturally live it. Okay? Your life today is natural and normal for you. You don't have to try, right? So you have to become the version of you that would naturally and normally live the desired life. Okay? Outside of that, everything you guys need to move forward with anything that I teach or offer is always in my bio. You can click the link. You can find any programs, courses, teachings, classes that I'm offering. Just click the link in my bio. Everything you need will be there. If you guys have questions, put them in the chat. I typically answer all the questions. If I miss your question, it's not because I'm ignoring you. I probably didn't see it, so drop it back in there so I can make sure I get to it. Outside of that, the intention of this live is for you guys to start thinking from the end. You have to apply the knowledge that I'm giving you. All the knowledge that I give you today is going to do nothing for you unless you apply it. Okay? Now, all the knowledge that I give you today is going to do nothing for you unless you apply it. Okay? Now, because we don't have all the time that we normally do, but we've got what we need. So, hold on, y'all. Hold on one second. Let me back this up. Loving on myself, I realize. Okay, great. So that one's there. This one's here. Okay, beautiful. So again, my name is M. Simone. I created the Great School of Life to help you guys create your heaven on earth. Whatever heaven on earth looks like for you, my job is to help you become the version of you that would naturally live that life so that you can absolutely create it. Okay? I always start with the basics. This live, like I said, will be a little bit different. We are going to talk a little bit more about identity on this live. I am having an identity shift masterclass in the next 2 days. You can click the link in my bio and join that. But outside of that, I want you guys to understand that the house that you're living in right now, the life that you're living, right, is very natural to who you believe you are. It's also built on a lot of lies that the world has told us, right? So the world has programmed us to believe a certain set of beliefs, and these beliefs are not serving us, right? The foundation on which your life is built is not stable. It's not solid. That's why your life feels the way that it does. It feels uneasy. You feel like you don't know what you're doing. You feel like you're going backwards. You feel like you're struggling. You feel like you're doing all the things, but nothing's changing because you've been programmed to believe that life works a certain way when it works the exact opposite of that, right? So my job is to give you what you need in this life so that you can build a new foundation, right? So you can build a new foundation and then create the new life, right? You got to get the foundation right first so that you can create a stable home. Okay. Thank you so much for the heart, me, Layla. I appreciate you, baby. How are you? So I want you guys to understand, right? We live on 3 different planes of understanding all at once, simultaneously, right? The physical plane is the one that we're most comfortable with, the one that we most commonly know, the one that's attached to our senses. You can smell, hear, see, taste, and touch the physical plane. But that is the lowest level that you live on. Okay, that's actually at the bottom of the totem pole. Thank you, Layla. I appreciate you, baby. Thank you for the goats. You're so sweet. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. It's still going. Whoa, wait. Thank you, Layla. Okay, Layla's showing out. Okay, hold on. Let me let her. Okay, 41. 41 goats. Thank you so much, baby. I appreciate you. You're the sweetest. So I want you guys to understand, right? The physical plane is the lowest level. You also have the spiritual plane and you have the mental plane, okay? I want you guys to understand that you are not your body. You are the spirit that lives in the body. You are a spiritual being. You are not a human being. You're a spiritual being. You're having a human experience. You're not a human being. You're a spiritual being having a human experience. You are not your body. You are the spirit that lives in the body. Just as I was thinking about the other dimensions, literally that's how it works. If Layla was thinking about the other dimensions, she hops on my live. I'm literally talking about them, right? So I want you guys to understand that you are not your body. You are the spirit that lives in the body. Now, I use the word God and energy interchangeably. You can use whatever word makes you feel comfortable. But who you are at your core is God. You are God in human form. When God said that he created us in his image, in the image of the creator, you were created. That's what they meant. When Jesus said, I and my Father are one, that was the statement that they were trying to give us. You are God in human form. God is not a larger version of humans. We are smaller versions of God. Okay? God is the big God. You are the little God. God is the creator of the universe. You are the creator of your universe. Okay? So I'm not saying that you are the God. I'm saying that you are a God. I'm saying that you are a piece of God. I'm saying that God is the sun and you are the sun beam. We can distinguish the two very clearly, but they are one. Correct? The sun and the sunbeam cannot be changed. Thank you, Mia. Hi, baby. Thank you for the heart, me. You can't separate the sun and the sunbeam. Okay? Hold on, y'all. Let me take this out the oven real quick. Okay. So I was doing a little cooking for somebody, a little cooking. Okay, let me come back. So yeah, so what was I saying? The sun and the sunbeam, right? So God is the, hold on. Thank you so much for the heart me, baby. I appreciate you, love. Hold on, Mia. Why they got your comment filter? It's just hearts. This is so crazy sometimes. Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. Spiritual godmother in the hood. Love that name. Okay, so hello, followed. Hi, Meg. How are you, baby? So what I want you guys to understand is that God is the sun. You are the sunbeam. I can distinguish the two very clearly, but they are still one. Does that make sense? The sun and the sunbeams cannot be separated. There's no separation, but there is a very clear distinguishment between the sun and the sunbeam. Okay? So you are God in human form. You and God are one. Y'all are not two. Y'all are one. Jesus said, I and my Father are one. Not several, not a few hundred, one. We are all one. We all come from the same source. You can use the word energy. You can use the word God. I use them both. Okay? You are God in human form. That's who you are. You are the divine in a physical vessel. Everything is God in human form or in a physical vessel. This pen is God in a physical vessel. This board is God in a physical vessel. You are God in a physical vessel. Energy. This pen is energy in a physical vessel. This board is energy in a physical vessel. You are energy in a physical vessel. Everything is God. Everything is energy. Okay, so that's who you are at your core. At your core. Thank you so much, Layla. That's so pretty. Thank you, love. Thank you, Meg, for the heart puff. I appreciate you, my love. That's who you are at your core. Okay, now you are a spiritual being. You have an intellectual and an emotional mind. Okay, you have the conscious mind and you have the subconscious mind. I want you to understand that God created everything, and we are God's highest form of creation. Spiritual beings having human experiences, we are God's highest form of creation. We have the ability to create. That's what we're here for. Our conscious mind, right, is the part that we have that the other animals in the animal kingdom don't have, right? Like squirrels don't have the conscious mind. Squirrels aren't intellectual. Squirrels can't think, so far as we know, right? But they are very emotional. Dogs are emotional. Cats are emotional. These things have emotions. They don't have the intellect, though. God gave us the intellectual piece of the mind to be able to think, to be able to choose, to be able to decide, to do to have free will, that free will to choose that they talk about in the Bible. That's the conscious mind. The squirrels don't have free will to choose. The squirrels go off of instinct. We call it intuition. They call it instinct. The squirrels don't think. They blend in with their environment very, very, very beautifully. We stand out. We are totally disoriented in our environment because we're supposed to create our own environment, right? Yes, correct. Correct, Layla. The intellectual side, the conscious mind, is the male aspect of creation, the masculine energy. And the subconscious mind is the emotional mind. That is the feminine energy, the female aspect of creation. That is correct. Yes. Okay. And then the physical, again, is that we have a physical body that we live in. So every single one of you, God gave y'all an inheritance. Everybody has their own inheritance. Layla's got hers. Mia's got hers. Tiara's got hers. M. Simone has mine. We all have our own inheritance. We all have our own slice of infinity. It's infinite too. There's no limit. There's no limit to your inheritance. Okay? Everybody has one. Layla is the only person that can claim Layla's inheritance. I can't claim Layla's inheritance. I'm not Layla. I can claim M. Simone's inheritance. I can't claim Tiara's inheritance. Nobody else can do that. Okay? I can't do that. I can't claim anybody else's inheritance. So every single one of y'all has an inheritance of abundance, prosperity, joy, confidence, ease, bliss, faith, love, beauty, money, whatever word you want to use, you have an inheritance. And the way that you're going to unlock, your inheritance is by understanding who you are. You are not a human being. You are a spiritual being. Hello, Josh. How are you, baby? Thank you for liking the live. You're not a human being. You're a spiritual being. Spirit is unlimited. Hear me clearly. God is unlimited. We agree? There's no limit to God. God is unlimited. God is infinite. Who you are at your core is infinite. You have infinite talent and ability right now to use to get you to where you want to go. God gave you more talent and ability than you could ever hope to use in your lifetime. You have tons of gifts. Okay? Everything you want is spirit, and you are spirit. That means everything you want, you have right now. Now, if you are everything that you want and you have everything that you want, why is it that you don't see it? That's the next question people ask. Well, why is it that I don't see it? If I am everything, I am the divine, I am God in human form, I am the power behind everything, why don't I see it? Why am I struggling? Why don't I have the money that I need? Why am I in a shitty relationship? Why do I not have the job? Why am I not getting clients? Why is my health trash, right? Why is it that the physical world is showing me the opposite of what I am? How is that happening? Okay? I want you guys to understand. Thank you for the rose, Jessica. I appreciate you, baby. I want you guys to understand. Okay? Hold on. Let me go through the comments real quick. I call them superpowers. That part. Okay. Let me make sure nothing's in the chat. Did I miss any other ones? Hold on. Did I miss anything? Okay. No, we're good. Okay. So I want you guys to understand. Spirit is unlimited. Who you are at your core is unlimited. The money you want, the health you want, the love you want, the relationships you want, you have it right now. Right now. The only reason you don't physically see it is because there's a limitation in your mind that's blocking it. God said, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. That's what God said very clearly. And it's plain as day. You don't have to, there's no way you can interpret that any other way. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. You got to go up into the mind and figure out what impediment is in there, because there is an obstruction to this infinite flow that's in the mind. That's why your physical reality, you have limitations or you have scarcity. It's not because you are scarce. It's not because you're limited. And it's honestly not because the world is limited or scarce. We live in an abundant universe, believe it or not. We live in abundance. You can go outside right now and try to count every leaf on the tree. You are going to be there for an eternity. Okay? We live in abundance. But you have a belief in scarcity. You have a belief in lack. You have a belief in limitation. And because you have an infinite flow that's flowing through a very cramped channel, it's going to come out very scarce. Does that make sense? Okay? Now let me give you a visual of what I'm talking about here. Okay? We got 2 water bottles. Hello, Nikita. How are you, baby? We have 2 water bottles right here. Okay? We can all agree, right, that the water, and I put the water in both of these. So this is not is this the right? Yeah. This water, this water came from the tap. Okay? So it's the exact same water. Okay? I want you guys to think about spirit, who you are at your core, as this water. Formless, right? Who you are at your core has no form. Who you are at your core is limitless, okay? If I poured this water out of this bottle, it would literally splatter on the table. It has no form in and of itself. Can we agree? It doesn't have any form. It's infinite, okay? Now, the water is going to take the shape of the bottle that I put it in, okay? The water is going to take the form of the vessel that I put it in. This vessel is clearly bigger than this vessel. This vessel can hold a lot more than this vessel. Okay? So spirit is the water. Your mind or your consciousness is the vessel, is the water bottle. Do you see how this one has less? It can hold less than this one. Same water, same spirit, same God power. different vessels, different consciousness, different minds. Okay? So the only difference between you and rich people or successful people or people that have the life that you want to live is that they have expanded their consciousness enough to hold all that they actually want. That's it. That's the only difference. They're not closer to God than you. You have the same God power I have. I'm no closer to God than y'all. I'm no closer than God than you. Thank you, Jessica, for the heart me. I appreciate you, baby. We all have the same amount of God power, an unlimited amount. Every single one of us. Nobody is shorted. Now, if you feel shorted or if there's a shortage in your physical, remember, it's not because you were limited. It's not because God is limiting you. It's because you have a limitation in your consciousness. What you believe about yourself, what you believe about the world, your identity, how you see yourself, your belief system, your thoughts, your feelings, your emotional convictions, your attitude, your perceptions are limiting that power. Okay? So again, the water is spirit. Spirit is formless. This water has no form. If I pour it out, it's literally just going to flow on the table. Depending on the vessel that I put it in, the water is going to take the shape of the vessel. Okay? Absolutely that, Lizzie. The water is going to take the shape of the vessel. So what you want to understand in the way, like I said, what God told us, God was very clear. Be transformed by renewing your mind. You got to renew the consciousness. You have to go into the mind and you have to figure out what obstruction there is in there. You don't get wealth. You release the idea of poverty. You don't have to get wealth. You have the wealth right now. You can't see it because you have a belief in poverty. You don't get health. You have the health right now. You don't see it because you have a belief in sickness. If you get rid of the belief, you'll get rid of the sickness. If you get rid of the poverty belief, you'll get rid of the poverty reality. Does that make sense? So you see this chart right here. This is the reality you're living in currently, okay, where you don't have enough. It's attached to a belief in lack and limitation. That's how it works. Just like the people who are wildly successful, the billionaires of the world, the millionaires, the ones that we be bashing. No, excuse me. Let me not say we. I normally group myself with y'all. I'm not going to group myself with y'all with that. I got over that a while ago. Y'all bash the people that have this money, right? For whatever reason you believe they have it. They did something negative or they did something evil or whatever the case is, right? I want you to understand that they're experiencing that reality because of a belief that they hold about themselves. You can experience that same reality if you hold the same belief. It's not about the actions you take. It's not about the things that you do. It's be, do, have. In order to have more, in order to have something you never had, you got to do something you never done. You got to do something different. In order to do something different, you have to be something different. You act from how you feel from how you think, and you think from how you believe. So it doesn't matter if you try to change your actions. If you don't go to the cause of the actual reality, you're not going to have permanently changed results, which is why God said, be transformed by renewing your mind. And God didn't say shit about your actions, because your actions are a reflection of consciousness. You're only going to act in harmony with what you believe to be true. If you believe you're insecure, you're going to act that way. Nobody who is confident, who believes that they're confident, acts insecurely. Renew my mind. It's very simple. He was clear. I need to release the belief of struggle of that part. I made a video the other day about that. Pain is love. Love is pain. That's what we're taught. That's what our parents teach us, especially as little girls. If a boy is mean to you, that means he likes you. That's what they tell you. Crazy work. So I haven't had a headache for 12 years. Got it. Hold on. Renew my mind. Okay. Yeah, you're literally programmed from a child to believe that love is pain. And then you're confused why you keep attracting the same type of people. It's the same person in a different body every time. Same experience in a different vessel. Because your belief is what's causing the reality. Your belief is causing what you're attracting, what you believe to be true. You believe niggas ain't shit. That's what you believe. So you experience a reality where you encounter the men who aren't shit. You're not going to find a king thinking that niggas ain't shit, that they're not in harmony. I will give you this example. If you take an apple seed, I asked this question on my live like a couple days ago. If you plant an apple seed into the ground, how many times are you going to reap a mango? If you plant an apple seed into the ground, how many times are you going to reap a mango? I got you, Jessica. I know you've been wanting something. That's why you're on this live. Y'all are all on the frequency. I want y'all to understand, I've been teaching this for never. I've been teaching this for 5 years. It's not a coincidence that now you guys are hearing me. But how many times? How many times a day? How many times are you going to plant an apple seed and get a mango seed? Never. It's never going to happen. Yet, you believe niggas ain't shit, and then you expect to reap a fruit of the man of your dreams or a king. Oh, no. That's not the seed you planted, baby. That's not the seed you planted. But the other thing is, you don't even know that your belief is causing your reality. And that's what I'm here for. I am here to remind you. I am here to wake you up. Okay? Y'all have been sleeping. I was asleep too. 23 years I was asleep. I woke up in 2020. That was my first awakening. Second awakening was last year in 2024. You have been programmed to believe a set of lies about who and what you are. They told you were a human being, lie number 1. They also told you that knowledge was power, lie number 2. You can have all the knowledge in the world and still be struggling. You can know everything I'm telling you, but if you don't apply it, it's not going to get you anywhere. So they tell you that knowledge is power so that you'll go get some knowledge, you go get that education. Some people have PhDs. Do you know how many degrees you have to get a PhD? And are still struggling because it's not about knowledge. It ain't about what you know. It's about what you apply. It's about the application of what you know. You got to apply the knowledge. Knowing is not going to get you where you want to go. Let me pull this up real quick. We're going to talk about this drawing because I'm not going to be on here as long as normal. That's a fact. Okay. You can know everything. You can know it all. You can read all the books you want. You can read books for decades and still not change your life. Got all the knowledge, not applying it. You have to apply it. I know, Mia. I have a webinar that I'm attending this evening. But I'll be back tomorrow. Actually, this week gonna be short anyway, because Thursday I'm doing the masterclass, so I won't be on live Thursday because I'm doing the masterclass that morning. But outside of that, let's get back to this. So I want you guys to understand this drawing right here, right? There was a doctor that created this drawing to give us a representation of how the mind works, okay? Before I go forward, I'm not here to tell you guys what to believe. I'm simply here to help you uncover the beliefs that are keeping you stuck and teach you how to take the beliefs that are going to get you to your dream life and execute on them and actually believe them and actually accept them. That's all I'm here for. I am here to give you the steps to create the life of your dreams. If what I tell you doesn't serve you, that's totally fine. You don't have to believe it. You actually have that choice. Now, this drawing right here is a representation of what your mind looks like. It's a stick person. It's very simple. Now, you can think your mind looks like whatever you want. That's your choice. You can think it looks like whatever you like. Absolutely did. Shay So Dangerous. Absolutely did. You were in harmony with it. You've been thinking about how you're going to change your life. You've been wanting more. You've been dissatisfied. You're like, I know there's more out for me. There has to be more. There's no way this is it. There's no fucking way. There's no way this is it. There's no way I'm going to be doing this for the next 60 years. Something has to give. Yahweh, something has to give. Like, ain't no way. God promised me heaven on earth and inheritance. And this is my inheritance? Struggle, scarcity, doubt, worry, lack. This doesn't feel like God at all. This cannot be it. That's why y'all are here. Because that desire that you have will lead you to where you need to go every single time. That's why you don't need to know how. You don't need to know how the shit's going to happen. There's no way that Shay could have predicted that I was going to get on live and talk to her directly. She didn't know that. She had no fucking clue. No clue at all. But she had a desire for more. She had a want for more, and she is being led by God, the universe, spirit, source, to the right sources. That's how it works, y'all. You don't need to know how. You want to become a millionaire. You don't know how. You don't need to know how. You're not going to know how until after it happens. There's no way you can tell somebody how. You're not going to be able to know how it's going to be done if you've never done it before until after you do it. You don't need to know how, though. If you have the desire and you have a why, that's all you need. You're going to make a plan. God's going to course correct you, and you're going to find your way to where you need to go every single time. You don't need to know how. That's not your part anyway. That's God's part. That's the big God's part. You're trying to do the wrong part. That's not your part. How is not your part. That's not your part. That's not your part. These last 3 months left my 10-year really. Yes, health got better. Love that. You popped up right on my FYP in the midst of my spiritual journey. Literally. That's how it works. You don't need to know how. You don't need every step. You just need to take the first one. First step, leave the relationship. Second step, Grow throughout the 3 months. Third step, desire. Fourth step, pop up on somebody's live. Literally. There's no way that Shay could have predicted that. There's no way she could have predicted that I was going to be here having this conversation. And that's not her job. That's the big God's job. God does that part. God is the choreographer that puts the dance together. Like you don't make the dance, right? So it's just like with the seeds. It's just like with an apple. When you plant an apple seed, oh, absolutely. The red string theory is real. Like I was pulled here. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because you have what's called emotions. Shay has been getting emotionally involved with her new life. She's like, I know there's more for me. She's getting emotionally involved. Her emotions are her energy in motion. Whatever energy you're in, whatever energy you put out is the energy you're going to get back. That's how it works. Whatever energy you're in is the energy you're going to get back. Shay is in the energy of creating her dream life. So she's getting dream life energy back. She's getting people that are talking about it. She's getting live. She's getting nudges. She's getting directions because that's the energy she's in. On the flip side, Shay could have absolutely got out of that relationship and been in the nothing is going to go well for me. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm doubtful. Nothing is working. And that's what she's going to get back as well. God is no respecter of persons. The universe doesn't argue with you. The universe doesn't bargain with you. You're like, God, my life sucks. God's like, yeah, I know you want to have a great life. I know you said it sucks, but you want a great life. So let me give you a great life. No, God says yes. God says yes. Yes, your life sucks. Yes, here's more evidence to prove that to you. Niggas ain't shit. Yes, here's more evidence to prove that to you. You're never going to see anything outside of you that's not first within you, a potentiality within you. I have to get some sleep tonight. I'm going hard. Period. Okay. Oh, wait. So I printed these papers a few days ago. Wait, I missed something, Lizzie. I missed something. Because I'm going hard. What you doing, Lizzie? Lizzie, you got a business? What you say? You printed some papers. The universe gives you what you give it. That part. Key said the universe gives you what you give it. Yes, I'm divorcing the state, period. Period. Okay? The universe gives you what you give it. You plant an apple seed, you get an apple fruit. 100% of the time. You're not going to plant an apple seed and get a mango, baby. It's not going to happen. The DNA in that apple seed only makes apples. The DNA of a poverty seed only makes poverty. You're not going to plant poverty seeds and reap prosperity. It's not going to happen. It mirrors how you feel. Your reality is a mirror of the internal. So back to this drawing. This is the mind. Okay. Now they created this picture because your mind is not a thing. Your mind is an activity. However, we think in pictures. So if I say the word cloud, there's a picture that pops up. If I say the word God, whatever picture pops up for you. If I say the word crab legs, if I say Toyota, if I say mansion, there's a picture that pops up. But then when I say the word mind, there's no picture. Or you're thinking about the brain. Now, the brain is a very powerful instrument, but it's a physical instrument. It's not the mind. It's a physical instrument of the body. Okay. The mind is a movement. It's a flow. It's an activity. The body is the manifestation of that movement. So the doctor created this drawing so that we could understand our mind. It's a stick person. It looks just like you. It's a stick person. Okay. So this top circle is the mind part of the mind. The bottom circle is the body part of the mind. The mind controls the body. The body is an instrument of the mind. The mind is the movement. The body is the manifestation of that movement. Mind and body cannot be separated. If it's in the mind, it's going to be manifested in the body. If it's manifested in the body, it was in the mind first. Everything that you see physically started in the mind. Everything. Everything started out as an idea. A lot of y'all have ideas right now of how you want to change this world. And you don't know how you're going to make it happen. So you keep rejecting the idea. But what happens? God gave you that idea. And God's going to keep bringing it back up every single day, every 2 days, every week. That shit's not going to go away. It's not. I'm telling you. If God gave you the idea, if you have a desire, it's because God gave it to you. God gives you the idea and you plant the idea in the womb, the garden of the mind, and then you execute on it. But God gave you the idea. It's not going to go anywhere, baby. A lot of y'all want to start businesses, but you keep kicking that idea out of your mind because you don't know how. You don't have the resources. You're not smart enough. You're not good enough. I want you guys to understand it's not who you are that holds you back. What did I tell y'all earlier? Who are you? You're a spiritual being. You're the all. You're the infinite. That's not holding you back. Being infinite, that's definitely not holding me back. It's who you think you're not. Oh, I'm not pretty enough. I'm not smart enough. I don't have enough resources to be an entrepreneur. The world has programmed you to believe that you need to know how things are going to happen. You're not going to know how until after it happens. There's no way that Steve Jobs could have told you how he was going to create the iPhone until after. No way. There's no way that Thomas Edison was in there like, you know what? I already know how to make this light bulb. And this is the thing. If you already knew how to do it, you would have done it. That's the thing. I want y'all to understand what I'm saying. If you already knew how you were going to be a millionaire, you would have done it. You would be a millionaire right now. You're not going to know how until after it happens. If you already knew how, you would have done it. You would be doing it. So the how ain't got shit to do with you. You don't have to know how. I am that I am. I don't have that on the board today, but normally I do write it up there. I am that I am. I am is awareness. That's who you are at your core. You are awareness. You are what is aware of your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. You're not your body. You are what is aware of your body. You're not your thoughts. You are what is aware of your thoughts. You're not your emotions. You are the awareness of your emotions. I am is unconditioned awareness. That is the self-definition of God. Thank you, Shay. I am is the self-definition of God. When you say I am, you're saying God is. You're using your God power. So you have I am, and then you have the word that. I am that I am. The that is the conditioning that you put on the I am. I am is unconditioned. Hello, Bree. How are you, baby? I am is unconditioned awareness. And then the that is the conditioning that you put on the awareness, and that's what you experience. For example, I am broke. I am. I am not pretty. I am. I am not pretty enough. I am sick. I am. Niggas ain't shit. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Okay. I am is the self-definition of God. Anytime you use the I am, you are placing a condition on God's power. And that conditioning is going to be manifested through your body. Thank you, beautiful. I appreciate you for the goats. I am that I am. You got to figure out what your current I am statements are. I am not good enough. I am not pretty enough. I am not smart enough. I am too black. I am a woman. I am whatever. You have a certain set of I am. Okay, fo, gang, gang, gang. Gang, gang, gang. You have a certain, the amount of 444, I see angel numbers all day, to be honest. But the amount of 444s I've seen today, I also have it tatted. So it's like, sometimes I'll see it and I'll be like, yeah, gang, gang. But yeah, thank you for putting that in the chat, baby. I don't know I do know what drew you, what told you to do that. But I like how they did that for me. I appreciate that. So I want you to understand, this is the mind. This is how it works. Okay. You need to know how your mind works. What did God say? Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Is it okay to use I am statements? You always use I am statements, baby. You always do that. When you say I am Bria, that's an I am statement right there. When you say I'm broke, that's an I am statement right there. So yes, you want to use them properly. I am successful. I am rich. I am wealthy. I am health. I am love. I am joy. I am beauty. I am confident. You want to use the I am statements. Absolutely. I mean, you can't not. You can never not I am. Like it doesn't matter what you say. It all comes back to I am, because you can only have what you believe you are. So even when you say I have no money, you're coming back to I am broke, because you can only have what you are. Now, let me back up, because somebody asked me about it. So for me, Lovely said, what does 444 mean? Now, you're going to give things meaning. Nothing has any inherent meaning. You give it meaning. So you can make it mean whatever you want it to mean. Now for me, right, 444 reminds me that everything that I am is protected. So when I see 444, I typically go in my head and I'm like, my wealth is protected. My love is protected. My joy is protected. My energy is protected. My business is protected. My clients are protected. It's growth and protection for me. Now it can mean whatever you want it to mean, right? So you can ask, is it Yara? She might have a different explanation for 444, right? 1111, love 1111. 777, love that one too. Makes me remember I hit the jackpot knowing who I am. When you wake up to who you are and you actually start implementing this shit, oh yeah, you hit the jackpot. Because this is the thing, y'all. I want you to understand that your success in anything is 99% consciousness. 99, I mean, damn near all of it. 99% is consciousness, internal, your identity. what you believe, what you think, what you feel. If you can create beliefs that'll serve you, the beliefs that would get you to your dream life, you're going to automatically create it. It's going to be inevitable because you have the 99% of the equation in harmony with what you want. Right now, the 99% of the equation is in disharmony for what you want. And that's why you're experiencing the reality you're experiencing currently. He speaks to me through symbols and numbers, period. Right? I say my angels are around. That part. Right? So it's up to you what you want 444 to mean. You can make it mean whatever you want, whatever serves you. And that's the point. I'm not here to tell y'all what to believe. I'm here to help you believe something that's going to serve you. Because what you believe right now ain't serving you. Believing that you're not good enough, that's not serving you. Believing that niggas ain't shit, that's not serving you. Believing that you got to go get another degree to be successful, that's not serving you. It's not. It's not serving you. So I'm not here to tell you what to believe. I'm simply here to help you believe what's going to serve you. What's going to get you to your reality, your dream life, your heaven on earth. God created you to live heaven on earth, literally. God created the heavens and the earth and then realized that God was not going to be able to experience it because in able to experience one thing, you have to be able to experience the opposite. So God created us, literal gods and human vessels, so that we could experience heaven on earth, literally that. Even when I say I am happiness, absolutely. You're putting a condition on that awareness and the condition is happiness. I'll take it. I am the most prosperous person in the world. What is the condition that I'm putting on the unconditioned awareness? Prosperity. And if I'm putting the condition of prosperity on the awareness, I'm going to become aware of the prosperity. That's how it works. You only see right now in your reality what you're aware of. What your consciousness is filled with. This word right here, conscious, that word means aware. So this word right here, consciousness, awareness. Okay? Now, back to the drawing. The conscious mind is the male aspect of creation. The subconscious mind is the female aspect of creation. Conscious and subconscious are actually one. But again, since we live on this 3D plane, you're welcome, Meg. Since we live on this 3D plane, we have what's called duality. Up, down, hot, cold, in, out, left, right. So we have male. But again, since we live on this 3D plane, you're welcome, Meg. Since we live on this 3D plane, we have what's called duality. Up, down, hot, cold, in, out, left, right. So we have male and female. These are the male life. Thank you so much, baby. I appreciate you. The diagram is so neat. I love it. Thank you. Thank you, Nova. Okay, Nova, I like that. So the male aspect of creation is conscious. The subconscious is the female aspect. The conscious mind is the farmer that has the seed. Okay. The conscious mind gets to choose. So the farmer gets to choose the seed. It's a beautiful experience once you reach the highest level of consciousness. Absolutely. It's amazing. You just keep going and going and going and going. And you just keep becoming more aware of what already exists. I want you guys to know everything you want already exists. You don't have to create it. You don't have to manifest it. It's already manifested. Everything's already here. If not in one form, in another. Everything is already here. It already exists. God created all of it already. So you're not creating anything new. You're becoming aware of what's already here. Manifestation is making the invisible visible. It's invisible to you right now. The money you want, you can't see it. Thank you for the goats, Meg. I appreciate you, baby. And when you say you manifested the money, what you did was you made something that was invisible to your reality, visible to your reality. That's what you did. But it was already here. You didn't make it. You didn't manifest it. It was already here. Thank you so much, Meg. Y'all trying to help me hit the goal. Meg is coming through. Oh my God, 80%. I love y'all. Y'all are so sweet. Okay, so Meg is hitting it. Okay, now let me back up because there was some questions in the comments. Thank you, Meg. I appreciate you, baby. You're so sweet. What's it say to start experiencing people you can trust? Okay, Monique. So clearly, based on Monique's question, Monique has a belief right now that she's experiencing people she can't trust. Because the only reason she would ask that question is if she felt a certain type of way about it. So how to start experiencing people you trust. So Monique, what do you believe about people? What do you believe about people? I got you, Meg. What do you believe about people? Monique, do you believe people are trustworthy? Do you believe that people typically do the right thing? Do you believe that people are loving? What do you believe about people? Ask yourself that question. The life recipe down here, this is a 7-step process that I created for manifestation to help you guys create whatever it is that you want. The first step, y'all see it, self-awareness. That's the first step. Self-awareness is the first step. You got to be aware. You can't change shit you're unaware of. This is the aware mind. This is the unaware mind. I want you guys to notice that 97% is unaware. 97% of your life is manifested subconsciously. Literally 97%. That is damn near all of it. So you cannot create the new life without becoming aware of how you're currently programmed. It's not going to happen. Okay? You have to be able. You have to be able to figure out what seeds are in your garden right now. Every single one of y'all has a garden full of seeds. Hold on. Jesus. Feliz Navi. I am helping my dad. My dad is being held hostage in a nursing home. Help me see. So Lizzie, right? So what I would tell you to do, for one, right, is what is your belief? It sounds like your belief about the nursing home is that he's being held hostage. Why do you feel that way? I don't know if we're going to be able to get through this whole thing while on this live, but you can also send me a DM if you want to talk about it more personally. That's totally fine too. I don't mind. What was I saying before I said that? I was saying, the garden. Every single one of y'all has a garden full of seeds. A garden full of seeds right now. Full of them. And those seeds are rooted. They're grounded. And that's why you're creating the fruit from those seeds. In order for you to create a new fruit, you got to figure out what fruit is currently being created. You can't plant anything where something already is. I cannot put anything where this aquifer is until I take the aquifer all the way out the spot. You cannot plant new seeds until you take out the old seeds. Now, let me say this. You can do what you want to do. You can try to plant those new seeds on top of the old seeds. And that's what most people do when it comes to manifestation. And that's why they don't have permanently changed results. Because you didn't go to the cause. You didn't go to the root of the problem. You just tried to put a Band-Aid over it. Fuck no. We're not Band-Aiding things over here. If you're using the Great School of Life's teachings, you are going to be permanently transformed by the renewing of your mind. That's not optional. We don't do half-assed manifestations over here. That's a no. You're going to do it in the right order, and you're going to do it properly so that you can get what you want. Like you have to figure out what seeds are in the garden, right? So even with Lizzie, I would absolutely encourage you to send me a message, Lizzie, so we can talk a little bit more about your situation. You have to. You cannot avoid the shadow. This is what they call the shadow work. Hello, Magdalene. Thank you for that's a great question, Meg. I don't know. I haven't looked into it. I'm not sure. How do we find and remove the seeds? Great question. This is my POV. This is how you do it. This 7-step process right here will get you from point A, where you are now, to point B, the dream life. So first thing is self-awareness. Okay. So how do we find and remove the seeds? The seeds are in the subconscious, meaning they're in the part that you're unaware of. So before you can change something, you got to become aware of it. You can't change anything you're not aware of. So you're going to ask yourself questions. Anytime you ask a question, you get an answer. Anytime you ask a question. That's why y'all always ask yourself, well, what if it doesn't work? And then you get 30,000 answers or situations of why it's not going to work. Right. So what you want to do is you want to ask yourself, what do I believe about X, Y, and Z? So whatever it is you want to create, if you want more money in your experience, what do you believe about money? What do you believe about yourself? You always ask, what do I believe about myself? Because your identity is your GPS. Just like the GPS on your phone. When you program that GPS to get you to a destination, it don't matter how many detours you take. You can take as many detours as you like. Your GPS is programmed to get you to the destination that you got set. So you can take as many detours. You can detour all night long. It's going to reroute your ass. So you have to figure out what the identity is that you hold about you, because that's your GPS. You're never going to outperform how you see yourself. So one of the questions you can ask yourself is, what do I believe about myself? What do I believe about God? That's a very great question. The relationship you have with yourself is very indicative of the relationship you have with God. But what do you believe about yourself? Also, What has the world programmed you to believe about yourself? Because Lizzie said, I believe I am divinely appointed. Did the world tell you that? I know they didn't. What did the world tell you? That's also a question you can ask yourself. What did the world program me to believe about myself? What did the world program me to believe about health, about money, about love? What did the world program me to believe? That's the way that you can word it. And you'll get an answer. Every time you ask a question, you get an answer. There's never going to be a time where you ask your subconscious a question and you do not get an answer. You have to. Every question has an answer. And the subconscious mind, right, is the unaware mind. So in order for you to find the seed, you got to ask the question. When you ask the question and you get the answer, it's no longer subconscious. Now it's in the conscious mind. Now you're aware of it. Now you know what it is. So the first step is always self-awareness. Always. That I'm shit. That part. That's what the world will tell you. That you're not enough. You're not pretty enough. You don't know enough. You're not smart enough. Because the world is definitely not going to tell you that you're divinely guided or appointed. No. No, I don't. Now, I want you to believe that. Absolutely. I want you to know that. There's a difference between believing and knowing too. I want you to know that. Right? So first step, how do we find and remove the seeds? Self-awareness. Ask yourself some questions. What do I believe about X, Y, and Z? What does the world program me to believe about X, Y, and Z? That's number one. Do not skip that step. That's the removing of the seeds. That's the my location in your GPS. Your GPS needs to know my location and the destination. If you don't have my location, you're not going to go anywhere. You can sit in the car all day. You don't have anywhere to turn because you don't know where you're going. You don't know where you're starting from. You know where you're going, but you don't know where you're starting from. How are you going to get on the road to it? How are you going to get on the road to the life of your dreams if you don't know where you're starting from? It's an impossible situation. Which is why a lot of you have been having trouble actually creating it, actually experiencing it. Because you're trying to start in the middle of the process. You're trying to start at step 4. Create the desired reality. No. You still got 2-3 steps ahead of that. You were way ahead of yourself, bro. Way ahead of yourself. Thank you for liking the live, baby. I appreciate you. Okay? First step. What do I believe about X, Y, and Z? Second step. When you pull up those seeds, you're going to have to forgive yourself. Forgiveness is not optional either. A lot of you guys will realize once you start to do this work, right, that the world has programmed you to believe a whole lot of bullshit. And because you've believed it, you've created this life. And some of y'all have been creating it for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. And when you start to pull up the seeds and you start to see on paper physically what's been creating your life, you're going to feel some type of way. You're going to feel some type of way. So the forgiveness step is for you to give that story that you've been telling yourself for the last however long for a better story. That's what forgiveness is. Right? When you forgive, you let go of completely. You let go of it completely. You're going to let go of that story. We're not going to keep holding on to that. You want to be a millionaire, but you're holding on to the story that is going to be hard, that you don't know how to do it, that you don't come from money, so it can't happen to you. That's not going to serve you. It's literally not. That's literally going to keep you where you are. That's why you're stuck right now, because of that belief. You have to let that go. Give it back. It's no longer mine. Thank you. But you got to go. You're not forgiving other people. You're not forgiving their actions. You're forgiving the story you've been telling yourself about their actions. It's not about them. It has nothing to do with other people. I'm not telling you to forgive for anyone else. You're forgiving for you. You're making space. You're going to pull the seed up and you're going to throw it in the trash. We're not going to let it root back in there. No, we're going to forgive it. We're going to give the seed for a better seed. We're going to give that story of why we're not successful for a better story. Okay? Step 3. Once you uncover your beliefs, once you forgive yourself, others, money, whoever you need to forgive, right? Then you're going to get in spirit. So when I say in spirit, right? God, spirit, energy, power, whatever word you want to use, you're going to get into that feeling. You're going to get into the feeling of being one with the divine. You're going to get into God consciousness. This is where I remind you of who you are. This is where I remind you that you're not a human being. You're a spiritual being having a human experience. This is where I remind you that you're God in human form. This is where I remind you of your power. This is where I help you start to think from God's perspective and stop thinking from the world's perspective, because you've been thinking from your current situation. You've been thinking from your current circumstances. You've been thinking from what the world has told you, and it hasn't gotten you where you want to go. Thank you, Lizzie. I appreciate you, baby. Thank you for the hand heart. You're so sweet. Okay. So you got to start thinking from God's perspective, the big God's perspective. You can't keep thinking from this human low level perspective down here. I mean, you can do whatever you like, but you're here because you want to create heaven on earth, and you're not going to create heaven on earth by thinking about earth. You got to get up in heaven. You got to get into the God consciousness, right? So that's what I mean by get in spirit. You're going to get inspired. You're going to start to get in that feeling of abundance. What does God feel like? If God had a feeling, what would it be? Abundance, prosperity, joy, love, bliss, ease, gratitude, faith. That's what you're going to get into. You're going to get into the spirit. So this is where I remind you of who you truly are. And I help you start to get into the feeling of abundance. Peace, that part. Absolutely. And this is the thing. That's why I created the life recipe, because now, if y'all have found it, let me know. But I haven't, right? That's why I created this. There's not a process, a step-by-step process like this, but I haven't, right? That's why I created this. There's not a process, a step-by-step process like this to get you to where you want to go. That's why I created it. When I first started this process, I had 4 steps. I got those from my mentor. My mentor at the time last year, she had 4 steps in her process. I've added 3 to those 4. It wasn't complete. You need more than that. That's not done. We need more. We need very distinct steps of how to get there. If God had a feeling, it would be love all the time. That part. So your job is to start to get into that feeling. Then, and only then, are we going to start creating the desired reality. That's where we're going to start. Now, what do we want? Now that we know who the world has programmed us to be, now that we've forgiven ourselves for that, and now we're getting into our God power, what do we want to create? What do we want? What is our inheritance? What does it look like specifically? What does your inheritance look like? Every single one of y'all has one. What does it look like for you? I can't tell you what that is. You got to pick that. You pick your inheritance. People say, well, what if it's got to be God's will? What is God's will? Abundance, prosperity, joy, love. Yeah, but that's not specific. You got to be specific. Like, we know what God's will is: abundance for you. It's prosperity for your life. That's God's will, but that's not specific. Get clear. Get specific about what you want. I want a new car. That's not specific. I want a big house. That's not specific. 1,300 square feet is big compared to 750. But 5,000 square feet is huge compared to 1,300. So what are we talking about? You need to be specific. You want a partner that's good to you. That's not specific. I need specific traits. I need specificity. You want to build a business. What kind of business? You want to bring in more money. How much is more money? You're bringing in 50,000 right now. 55,000 is more money. So what are we asking? Be transformed by renewing your mind. God was clear. 6.5 acres. Mia said, I know what I want, baby. I want a ranch style. I want a 2-story. I want an elevator. Okay? Like, you got to be specific. And let me remind you, God promised you whatever you asked for. God didn't say there was a limit. God didn't say, oh, no, you're getting $1 million is a little bit much. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. No. Absolutely not. Unlimited, infinity money. We love that. I need a number to start with, though. Because going from where you are right now to infinity, that's a big jump. Not to say you can't do it, but I have a feeling your belief system is going to need you to pick a middle ground. But that's no problem. All right, y'all. Now I got to hop off here. I told y'all I had to leave at 8. My apologies. I know it was a little bit shorter than normal. But everything that I offer, everything that you guys need to move forward with anything that I teach, thinking from the end, community over commission, identity shift, everything is in my bio. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I will be back tomorrow. Damn, see, you came in right at the end. Thank you, love. Thank you for the heart, me love. I appreciate you. And the hand heart. Thank you, Lizzie. You're so sweet, baby. Right? This makes so much sense. Thank you. You're welcome. This is my POV. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much, y'all. Okay. Y'all coming through. Hold on. It's trying to get me to verify. 1 second. Oh my goodness. Unable to verify. Dude, I'm putting it in the center. This is so ghetto. Thank you so much, C. I appreciate you, baby. I love you. I love you all. Not the little one. Big MSB. I'm trying to tell you, the biggest. Okay, not the little one. But let me know how I can support you guys. I will be back tomorrow, like I said, probably around 6:45. If you need anything, reach out to me. Send me a DM. Everything you need to move forward with anything that I teach, offer, mentorship is in my bio. There's a class that I'm teaching this weekend, or Thursday through Friday. You can join that class. You can also join Community Over Commission and get that class and 3 other classes. Thank you, C. I appreciate you, baby. And then Thinking from the End, you can also apply to work with me. That's a 6-month course that we go through, a full transformation of your whole life. Community Over Commission is specific areas. Thinking from the End is holistic. If you guys have questions, like I said, reach out to me. Let me know. I'll be back. But yeah, I got to hop off here so I can hop on this webinar real quick. I love you all. I will see you guys tomorrow, like I said, around 6:45, and we'll go from there. You can only see the beacon and light in me because you the beacon and light in you. Come on now. You can't see nothing in me. You ain't in you. You can't see nothing over here that's not over there. I love you all, though. I will see you guys soon.